Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Jamie and it is Upcrate time. I received the Upcrate 36, which is the August of 2022 box. And this should be an interesting review. I have seen some spoilers and I will get to that when I am reviewing what I think about the box. I have quite a bit I'd like to say on this one this time. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Did they get rid of the pull tab? It looks, oh no, it's there. It's just really, really hard to see. I don't want to flip it over too far because they put the shipping label on the back. All right, here we go. We've got a bundle, as you can hear. Sounds like there's pencils inside. I'm going to set this out, get everything out of the box before I begin. Okay, so as you can see, it looks like it's watercolor. And here is the featured artwork, which is really cute. And the co-captain is Rubenubi, I guess is how that's said. And some of their work, and they are found on Instagram. So if you'd like to go check that out, go ahead and give them a view and possible follow. I will set this aside. And these are the stickers for this month. So it's really, really cute. I have a feeling that my kids are going to want the stickers, which is normal. They usually end up taking my stickers anyhow. So I'll set this aside as well. All right, on to the rest of the goodies in the box. We have some paper here. 1, 2, 3 sheets. And let me take a quick peek. I'm not going to go over the entire magazine in this video, just to shorten the video a bit, but if I can find information about the paper. All right, so it is aquarelle paper, 100% cotton, 300 GSM. And does it say if it's cold pressed or hot pressed? Oh, it's cold pressed. So that should hold quite a bit. So we'll see how it goes and how well it can take a lot of water. And we'll open up this little bundle. And yes, it is pencils. Looks like one of the lids kind of chipped off a bit. So I'll set this over there. All right, so I don't want to make marks on the paper, so I'll move that away. This is what we've got in the box. We have Upcrate masking fluid, 300 ml, suitable for watercolor paper only. And it looks like it's made out of latex. So I'll set this aside. We have a pencil sharpener made by Lyra. And it's got 2 different sizes. We have a Factus eraser. I might go ahead and give this a try to see if it can lift the masking fluid any easier. We have a Koh-i-Noor Hardmouth in H. A Colibri size 1. And this looks like a mop brush, and I really don't see how you're going to be able to get any detail with this. So that should be interesting, especially since these are watercolored pencils. And these are Lyra or Lyra, depending on how you say that, Rembrandt-aquarelle. So they are watercolor pencils. This is Scarlet Lake. We have Oriental Blue, Dark Orange, Delft Blue, Viridian, and Dark Sepia. So I'm going to give these a try and come up with something to work on for a piece. Try to get the time lapse included in this. I do want to note that Upcrate did reach out on Instagram to people regarding the rules, because there's apparently some complaints about people not following the rules or asking about them when you create the piece, because they do allow other brushes to be used, since they only have, they can only put one brush in generally instead of including a whole bunch, so it doesn't take away from the other products. If your box does not include a pencil, they do allow you to use your own pencil for your sketches beforehand, of course. Other than that, and like if you have masking tape that you want to use, that was not included in the box. Stuff like that's fine. If you need more paper, use your own paper, but they are saying not to be using other products other than what's in the box. So no other colors from what are included in these, no other different types of watercolor with it for your specific bottle post submission. And it looks like the theme this month is going to be childhood dreams. And the prize is all these Calibri paint brushes. And it looks like a 10-piece set. So if you're interested in trying to get these brushes, this might be the kind of battle for you. I don't really care about winning a bunch of brushes, so I'm not too concerned. When you submit your piece, you create with the supplies along with the prompt, and then you cut this square out that's at the bottom that says what Upcrate box it is, saying that it's for the Upcrate battle, and you take your picture with this square and then submit it using the hashtag Upcrate battle on Instagram, and then you will have a chance to win whatever the prize is for the month. So on to getting these swatched out, and we'll go on from there. Stay tuned. All right, folks, welcome back. I decided I am not going to be doing a piece included in this video. If I do a piece, I will include it in a separate video later on. This is going to be my rant session and review of the box. Okay, so I did try them out, and I would like to point out that Upcrate sent out a message. I am almost 99.9% sure that it was on Instagram. It is no longer there. I thought at first it was my email. Checked my emails, not there. So it had to have been Instagram. They had sent and issued an apology to the customers, saying that because of shipping issues. Of course, the shipping issues is the reason behind this, but they were able to get the paper that they wanted, so they had to switch the paper last minute, which is the reason behind why they did not properly test their products. Okay, they did not test their masking fluid with the paper that was included in the box. If you're going to create a product yourself, you should test it on different various types of paper with different types of products. Not just go, okay, well, here's some masking fluid for your customers. Throw it in the box. It's masking fluid. It's got to work, right? No. All right. So my thing is that the Upcrate box came with this 100% cotton paper. Okay. This is Art Space. These are both 300 GSM. This is just cheap old Artist's Loft in a cellulose paper from Michaels. So not as high quality, but in my opinion, it worked better on this paper. Now, with the masking fluid at the beginning of the swatching video or clip, I had drizzled some across the paper, let it set. I did little swatches where I put down on both of them markings with the pencils, and then I tried to wet them, and in the swatching, because it's sped up, it's time-lapsed, it looks like I kind of just wiped across. I didn't really go into it, but I actually did rub over it a couple different times, and it still didn't want to activate and really work out the color that well. As you can see on both papers, there is markings. You can see almost every pencil stroke that was on the paper before it was wet and activated. And like I said, it took some manipulation to try to even get it to do that. The second row, I took my Caran d'Ache textured palette, and I took the pencil and I rubbed some onto the palette, wet it with the brush, applied it to the paper. That worked pretty well, but I noticed after that they've set and dried on both sheets that there's these specks everywhere, and I thought, okay, what did I get on my paper? But upon closer inspection, the specks are in the paint themselves, and they're the same color as the paints, just darker. So something in these pencils is causing the paint to speckle. So I don't know what's causing that, and not everybody's going to want speckling in their work. I did also try where I put some of the wet wash down and added some salt to see if I can get the salt effect. The one on the cotton paper pretty much completely failed. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. The one on the cellulose, it did kind of spread the pigment away a bit, but it left these dark spots where the salt had hit. And I guess all the pigment kind of just pooled to it, and then the rest spread away. But it's barely noticeable in that, so I wasn't thrilled about that. The pencil did erase. These are supposed to be watercolor pencils. Watercolor pencils still behave like watercolor, where you can lift the pigment once you get it on the paper if you want to lighten it, or get rid of it if you get it where you don't want it. These are not. They don't lift at all. I tried lifting some on the gray and the green. Did not lift at all. Did not lighten one bit. So these are more akin to ink tints than watercolor. I don't know how they can even call it a watercolor pencil at this point. Just because it's water soluble and water activated does not make it a watercolor. So I'm not happy about that. I had time for this to all dry, do some laundry, come back, and the masking fluid was still wet and sticky. I came back later on in the afternoon, it still was sticky. I tried putting the hair dryer on it to kind of finish drying it, and I got it to where it was workable enough that I can remove it, but it still was super soft. It didn't set very well. When I first tried putting the watercolor over it, it spread the masking fluid. So I had to let it set some more. And when I came back, this on the cotton paper, it ate my paper. I used the Factus eraser to kind of grab it because it didn't want to come up and to help ease it off the paper. And it did help get it off the paper. But it did tear my paper, and I mean, it's rough around the edges. You could still peel pieces of the paper. It's got this discoloration where it didn't really protect the paper, where it didn't tear the coating off. Here it tore it completely off, and it's completely discolored. That you've noticed there's this weird, almost like a halo of, I don't know what you want to call it, effect, but it's gummy. The whole feeling, it's rough, it's gummy, it's sticky, it left a residue. It will not come off at all. So it does not work with 100% cotton paper. On the cellulose paper, it pretty much came off pretty easy. It left nice clean lines, but there's still a spot where it's stuck, and it still allowed the paint to bleed through underneath of it. And yeah, it's still got a stickiness too. And see, I could still rub some of that sticky stuff off. It just, I have tried multiple different types of masking fluid, and I have never despised one so much before. So I am not happy at all with this box. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to make a water soluble pencil, make it to where it actually dissolves and it's actually soluble. Nobody wants to see markings like it never dissolved underneath the watercolor. Case in point, the examples on their bottle post. This is akin to what I would see a kid in grade school come home with for their art. Somebody that's making a professional piece isn't going to want that effect in their work. This drives me absolutely crazy. Now, I will show a couple examples of other types of watercolor pencils. Okay, I purposely left markings on this to the side and then dissolved out. These were the Cretacolor Studio Line watercolor pencils from the holiday box from Sketchbox last year. They still had some marks, but they dissolved fairly well, much better than these did. And I didn't like that pack either. I gave that pack to my daughter so she could try out some watercolor pencils. The Faber-Castells, they're the Albrecht Dürer. You can see that where I put a lot of pressure and kind of burnished the pencil for a darker hue, it left some markings, but where I marked it and it was lighter, it all dissolved out and worked so much better than this. Even better than that, these are the Caran d'Ache Super Colors. They pretty much dissolved away. There wasn't really hardly, there's a little bit of marking there, but it doesn't even really look like marking. It's just where it stayed darker. So these are what watercolor pencils typically come out when you activate them. This is not. I don't find that acceptable at all. And I'm not saying that that is Upcrate's fault, but Lyra made some, they're the ones that made the pencils, and it's not good. What I'm not happy with Upcrate is the pricing. They charge €5 for the magazine, and they have it in tiny print on the side of the magazine. If you go back before the changing in price, there was no pricing on the magazine at all. They had a time where they were trying to get people's opinions on it, and they were going to stop making the magazine. And all of a sudden, okay, well, we're going to make this magazine, and you're just basically going to have to deal with it. But then charging €5 out of the cost of your box for the magazine is shady. I understand that you decided to make a German printed one and an English printed one to put in the boxes for wherever they're going, but you're still printing the same amount of magazines. That should not increase the cost. All right, I don't like being cheated because you're giving me paper that I don't want. If you want to give me paper, how about you give me actual paper instead of just 3 tiny, well, not tiny, but small pieces of paper. At least other subscription boxes give you a whole pad of paper. No, I don't like that. Now, the other complaint I have is they charge $5 for the magazine, and then after all of the supplies were added together, including the magazine of the box, it was worth €29.68. All right, the shipping and the price increase went up to €24 just for the box. And then they're adding on €4 shipping because I live in the US. I am paying €28 a month for this box just to get it. And the pricing, the value of that translated to dollars has been fluctuating. Apparently, the value of the euro isn't stable right now. So I think last month it was around $30, and this month it was like $28. But with that being said, if the value of the box, according to their value, is €29.68, I paid €28. I'm only getting €1.68 extra value. Okay, if this was a great box and I loved it, I would say, okay, I got my money's worth out of it, good enough. But if one of your things is, oh, try all these products, save you some money kind of thing, then I'm going to expect at least somewhat of an extra value. And the fact that they charged $5 for that magazine says that I didn't get any value at all. So I'm not happy. This actually irritated me to the point that I said, okay, you guys have been going downhill for the last couple months. I canceled my subscription. This was my last Upcrate. So I am actually going to take a break from subscription boxes, I think, for a bit with October coming up. We have Inktober and we have Drawtober, and there's other things going on. I usually participate in Inktober and Drawtober, so that is going to consume my next 2 months of work. So I am not going to even mess with probably ordering a box until at least after that is done, if I go back to boxes at all right away, because I have so many supplies here. I really need to start using them. So I'm taking a little break. I'm sorry that I had this rant go on forever, but I wanted to, make that known, and I hope this is helpful to some people. One of my other things is, I don't know if you can see this, but this brush, it's not a good brush. All the bristles are frayed. So I was not happy with this brush at all. It's super soft. Trying to do anything with it other than, wipe it across the paper, that's all it's good for. You can't really get any good details with this. So yeah, this was a bust box. So Sorry about the rant. Hope this helped. Hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.